Hi everyone, my name is David. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am part of Bitkom's startup initiative Get Started. I'm very happy to be here because today we are talking about a topic that is rather close to the very idea of what we do in the startup team.
Sorry?
You see, one of our main responsibilities at Get Started is to create a business platform where startups and corporates within our association are naturally drawn towards co-innovation. Now, if you're asking yourself, what the hell is co-innovation? I promise you it's not just yet another buzzword that is being thrown around in the startup ecosystem.
Also die dida
At least I don't think so.
Dida?
Increasingly, our member startups are telling us that the old times of traditional client-provider relationships are over. We at Bitkom truly believe that it is of utmost importance for both startups and corporates to establish or to get involved into a process of co-innovation in order to remain internationally competitive and to remain technological leaders. And that's why I'm delighted to have two startups here with me today who are doing exactly that. First, please welcome on stage David Berscheid, project manager at dida Machine Learning from Berlin. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Yes, hello. So today I will speak about AI co-creation between startups and corporates, and I will use one past project that we did together with Feldmann as an example. So we are experts in machine learning. We're called dida, and we are based in Berlin, and we develop customized AI solutions for mid to large size enterprises. We have customers, for example, like Zeiss, Idealo, or Deutsche Bahn, and we've won a couple of awards, for example, from Microsoft, the UNESCO, or the ICML. Then the project that I will speak about is from Feldmann. Feldmann offers medical services for animals, but not in a clinic, and instead the vets, they visit the pets at home in order to remove stressful transportation and stressful waiting room times. So I would like to speak about 3 success factors when it comes to co-creation. And the first factor that we think is important is to define a realistic scope and to have realistic expectations about the AI co-creation. Let's take a look at the manual process. This is the homepage of Feldmann, and on the right you see a form where the customer enters a description of what is wrong with the animal. It's a free text form, you can name symptoms, you can describe what's wrong, and then a manual vet of Feldmann then reads this description and derives some symptoms and diseases. The second step is also manual. The vet then takes a look at the symptoms and estimates a treatment duration. And based on this treatment duration, he or she will come up with a route how to structure the working day and go from patient to patient. Now this is a very central process for Feldmann because that's what they do, and it's not very efficient because it involves a lot of manual labor, and they'd like to make it more efficient and save costs. So their question was where to apply AI, and you see a couple of different areas or steps where it would be possible. It would also be possible to make one large AI model that only takes the description as input and then directly jumps to an optimized route management. So the question was, where should we start this co-creation and where should we apply AI? The decision was that we only automate the very first step, and the reason was we'd like to start small and build modular. So we developed a classification algorithm that took those descriptions and classified it into symptoms and diseases. That might be a result output. That's how it could look like. And then based on this result output, the vet could estimate the treatment duration. So we automated one piece of this whole larger project. Or this process. And what's great about this is that Feldmann had realistic expectations what to automate, and they were happy with a realistic scope. So that's the first factor what we think is important when it comes to co-creation. The second factor, what we think makes a co-creation successful is the integration of domain expertise. If we go back to this step, then dida, we're good at developing the algorithm. We're good at developing the classification, but we have no idea how to then translate the symptoms that we classified into the treatment duration, because we don't have the domain expertise. Feldmann does. So we needed Feldmann to help us estimate the treatment duration in order to make this a successful co-creation. And Feldmann provided us with a lot of vets and a lot of time of their employees, so they could deliver the domain expertise and make this co-creation successful. We not only needed this domain expertise once, we needed it multiple times. For example, when we had to label the data. We had a lot of descriptions of customers where they described what's wrong with their animal, and then we wanted to find the symptom to it. So we had to label all of this data. Again, we needed the domain expertise of Feldmann to find the right symptoms. And they provided it, which made it successful. We not only needed it once, we needed it in a repeated manner, because data quality is a process, you have to work on it. So in the beginning, you define your labeling schema, you define what would you like to label, in this case, the symptoms, and then you actually go through all the descriptions of the customers and you find those symptoms. And then you train the model and you end up with a result that might be solid. And then you think, okay, if we now also label the context and not only the symptom, then the performance might improve. So we update the labeling schema, but then we have to touch all of the data samples again and also label the context. So here again, we needed the domain expertise over and over again. We trained the model again and we got a better result. So yeah, this should only symbolize that the success of this co-creation highly depends on if Feldmann or the customer is willing to integrate domain expertise and give us a lot of availability of their employees. And the third factor that we think is important when it comes to co-creation is culture and communication. In a co-creation between an AI startup and a corporate, it might be a little bit of a clash of cultures, for example, or different communication styles, which can lead to problems. So we think 3 points are important. The first point is open and honest communication. The icon describes it quite well. So we are good at developing an algorithm, but we're not good at building dashboards. So whenever a customer asks us, can you develop a dashboard on top of the solution, we are honest and we say, sorry, that's not our expertise, but we're happy to refer you to a partner. And by being honest, it creates trust and it helps this co-creation process. Management buy-in is important in our opinion, because if we co-create with a corporate, but the upper management is not on board and is not convinced of the project, then most likely we will build a great prototype with the IT department or with another department, but we will still not be able to convince the upper management because, yeah, the management is not on board, and then it will not work. And lastly, the corporate doesn't have to be an AI expert, but it should have some level of AI understanding in order to see the potentials of an AI project, but also to see the dangers of an AI project, and yeah, to know that it goes along with higher uncertainty. That's already what I wanted to say about how co-creation can work out in successful ways. And to sum up, we think 3 factors are important, namely to define a realistic scope and have realistic expectations. Secondly, to integrate domain expertise in a repeated manner. And thirdly, to focus a lot on company culture and communication. Thanks.
Thank you very much, David. Great insights. So you just gave an example of a very successful co-creation process with a small and medium-sized enterprise. For all the startups here in the room, how would you say you as dida are screening for companies who are ready for that sort of process?
It's not always easy to see. I'm not saying that we're expert at finding these good opportunities for co-creation, but what we like to look at is this corporate or this company, is it tech-driven? Does it have maybe a tech DNA? So what's the value? How much do they value a technical solution in their company? How much do they want to improve what they have at the moment? That's something that we try to find out in exchanges together with our management partners. And within those meetings, you usually hear how high is the priority and also who's participating in the meetings. Is the upper management on board? Do we have this management buy-in? And that's a bit what we look for.
Thank you very much. Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Perfect. Time is looking good. I would say we will move on to our second guest of today. Welcome on stage, Alexander Feldmann. Alexander is an IT security consultant at LocateRisk from Darmstadt, and he came to share his thoughts on co-creation in the field of cybersecurity. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you very much. Yes, hello everybody. My name is Alex from LocateRisk. To give you a brief idea of what we do, we basically analyze company via the internet. We first of all find all the internet-facing assets, and then in a second step, we analyze those IT assets in terms of vulnerabilities. Do they have open ports? Are the systems patched? Are they using the newest encryption methods, and so on? And today I want to talk about the co-creation together with Net16, which is a MSSP, a IT system integrator basically, who is working closely with their customers to not only improve the cybersecurity, but in general to manage the IT systems. Yes, how did the whole collaboration get to come together? The thing is, Net16 was particularly looking for a tool that enables them to find vulnerabilities in their clients' infrastructures. They wanted to create awareness on the management level for IT security. And in general, they wanted to expand their service portfolio in order to provide an added value for their end customers. And yes, why is this a fruitful collaboration? First of all, Net16 was looking for a tool like us that can provide precise analysis data on not only the external attack surfaces, but also potential vulnerabilities. And they needed a seamless service that they could use effortlessly. So basically, with a snap of a finger, they wanted to get some data on the security level or the security posture of their customers. And for LocateRisk, this is a useful tool, a vehicle to reach more end customers and to get additional feedback from service providers, from end customers. And to be honest, Net16 is not only a very good case, it's the best case because they approached us directly. They were doing a web search. How to do which software can do vulnerability scanning, how can we map the external attack surface of companies, and we gave them a demo, we showed them the tool, and they directly got started. They contacted their end customers, they made some meetings, and they directly realized that this is something that could be useful for the majority of their customer base. Yeah, and to start. We assisted them. So basically, we guided them through the first meetings with their end customers. We showed them how the tool works. We basically did the whole product demo together with them. And after the sales guys and the technical people understood how the tool works, they were able to recreate that positive feedback. They had a direct responsible person on our side. We had a responsible person on their side. So we had a direct link, a direct communication between each other. And through our integrated feedback form within the platform, they were able to give us really valuable feedback that we have implemented over time and improved our own service. So definitely a win-win situation for both companies here. What were they actually looking for? Like I mentioned, they were looking to expand their service portfolio. They were receiving requests from customers already. What can we do in order to manage our external attack surface a little bit better? How can we find vulnerability in an automated way? And they not only via our tool, they not only get the information on where vulnerabilities are to be found and where hackers could potentially attack the company. They also get potential solutions on how to remediate those vulnerabilities. Yeah, and for us, like I mentioned before, it was a win-win situation. We get valuable feedback from them. We give them also feedback, and they provide us with new ideas and impulses for future developments. And in case customers have requests from us regarding IT infrastructure, cybersecurity in general, we forward those requests directly to Net16, so that not only we benefit from this collaboration, that they as well manage to generate new customers for themselves. And together we improve cybersecurity overall. This is a quote from the Senior Director of Cybersecurity at Net16. We wanted to provide a complete cybersecurity framework, and they chose LocateRisk, sorry, it's a little bit hard to translate on the stage, with the opportunity for continuous risk assessment on a quarterly, monthly, or weekly basis, which is now a part of their cybersecurity strategy that they provide to their customers. So we not only do those scans once and then it's done. Generally, it's done on a regular basis, which again gives feedback to Net16, which is able to see what kind of vulnerabilities are popping up at their customers over time. They fix those vulnerabilities and therefore manage to increase the security postures of their customers. And with that, I'm already through, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Alexander. Great insights. I need to phrase my next question in a way so it's not really offensive to you.
Okay.
But how do you, as a relatively new player in the field, convince a multi-million dollar revenue company or SME to work with you?
Usually, once they've seen the platform, the user interface, once they have maybe gained some experience, work with it, it's usually quite easy for them or for us to convince them to actually make a purchase and then use it on a long-term basis. The more critical part is actually to get this first meeting and to get the chance to actually introduce ourselves. And this is why we're so heavily reliant on partners like Net16 who are already at the customer side, who have the trust, basically. It's a trust issue in the end, right? Who have the trust of those customers and give us, or basically open us up to the opportunity to introduce ourselves. Maybe even they introduce us directly. That could also be a possibility. But that's basically the way it's working for us mainly. So it's we have a strong partner focus on that end. Yeah.
Okay, so you need a strong partner on both sides in order for the co-creation process to work out in the end.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, so you've been working with Net16 for months and months. Who would you say in the end, who profits most from this relationship?
Well, it's a win-win situation, obviously. I mean, they can provide not a completely new service, but an extended service of what they have offered before. Like they basically expand their cybersecurity portfolio, which in the end, profits again also the end customers who are more secure, which profits Net16 because they can provide a more complete service in the end. And then we're happy if we gain new customers and new feedback from them.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Thank you. All right, we are already at the end of our short slot today. I think what became quite apparent is that co-creation is here to stay. It is an essential pillar of startups, of collaboration between startups and small and medium-sized companies. Thank you, David. Thank you, Alex. If you're interested in more best practices, feel free to check out our white paper on bitkom.org. It's the Get Started co-creation white paper. You can find it online. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your attention and have a beautiful day at Berlin. Thank you.